Hello and welcome to Issues and Insights. I'm Jarrett Cox and thank you so much for being here. As you can tell, we're not at our usual set at beautiful 209 Corporate Drive in Elizabethtown. We're actually on the stage at the Hardin County Performing Arts Center as they get ready for their production of Oklahoma. And who are they? The Hardin County Youth Theater, and we have two people here that know a lot about that because they're coordinating it. We have Zagar and Cassie Lucas. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So can you tell me a little bit first about how you got involved in the Hardin County Youth Theater?
I have been doing this for some 30-some years. I've been the choreographer for a long time. My husband was the director at that time, and then he brought me in to do choreography. My very first show was King and I, and it was out at what was Hardin Central at that time, and we built our own stage on the end of the cafeteria. And it's still an incredible opportunity for the kids. So I have been here a long time.
And I was in youth theater, not that far back, but almost, a long time ago. And so last year I was production manager, and this year I'm music director.
How was that jump for you, going from production manager to...
Well, I also work at North Hardin and have directed musicals there and elsewhere, so I enjoyed being production manager last year because I got to see kind of how everything worked in the background and the organization of, the whole organization. But I'm a music teacher, so music is really like my vein, so it's been good this year.
So you've been involved in youth theater here for a long time. How has the years changed what you do?
Well, obviously, where we are performing, we don't have to build our own stage on platforms in the cafeteria at a middle school. And then we went from there, we went over to E-Town and we performed there. But getting in and out there's two entrances, that was it. And it was just very, very small, no dressing rooms for us. And then finally, they built this for us. So we performed in a lot of CAFA gymtoriums before we got this. And then coming here, so our technology has just changed. We can do beautiful lighting. We can do these big sets. We couldn't do that before. We've got dressing rooms for the kids to be in. We've got an orchestra pit, and we've got a place for our orchestra to really be. So we have really upped our game a whole lot.
And I know that you've been working hard with the kids on this performance. Oklahoma is the next big show you're doing. Mm-hmm. But tell me a little bit about the process of why you chose to do Oklahoma.
So there's a board of directors. There's a board of directors that includes students, and also it includes adults. And we look who we've got coming up, who we think would be our possible leads, and then how that could fit in to what show we might possibly do. And we had done some shows that were a little bit more contemporary, and so we like to kind of alternate them and do something, maybe an older one, a classic. And Oklahoma is so classic, and it's so good for the kids. They weren't necessarily really thrilled about it, but now that they're doing it, it's really neat, especially when we're putting it all together, they go, oh, that's really neat how that goes together. So that's how we picked that show. And we know for next year, we're going contemporary again. We're going to do Matilda next year. So something totally different than a classic like this.
Now, do you think some of the apprehension of them doing Oklahoma because they thought they had to go to Oklahoma?
I don't think so. Because we do a lot of educational workshops first. We do 3 educational workshops first, so that they know what the dance, the singing, and the lines are going to be beforehand. So no, I don't think so. I think they might have been more apprehensive, especially the boys. There is a whole ballet in Oklahoma, and I think they thought it was going to be tutus and tights. And I quickly said, absolutely not. Just a story in dance. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, that's okay.
Now, some girls might have liked to see those boys in tutus. And
they might have gotten a good laugh, yes.
So when is the show?
It is July the 14th at 7, July the 15th at 7, July the 16th, that would be a Sunday, that is at 3, and July the 21st, so that would be the next weekend, at 7, July the 22nd at 7, and then July the 23rd, once again, a Sunday at 3. And they can get tickets online at thepac.net.
Mm-hmm. So handy and so easy to remember.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So you talked a little bit about the board of directors. Can you go more into how people get selected to be on the board of directors and how they get involved in theater as far as that side of it goes?
I think there's a specific number of people that we can have on the board. Obviously, we want to pick people that have some knowledge of theater, and obviously that really care about kids and theater, knowing that we want to educate these kids in all of the performing arts that we possibly can and give them the best experience that we can. With that said, we have 48 in this cast, and so we have to be careful. We got to make sure that they can all be on the stage and doing things that are going to help them learn, but also keep them safe. So being on the board, there are adults that just want to be a part of youth theater. There's a lot that have been on there for a long time and are so dedicated to it. And then the kids actually nominate 2 or 3 people from their school, and it is their responsibility to take the information then back to their school for our workshops, for our auditions, and what youth theater is all about. And then that's how they get on the board. And then we have board meetings once a month so that we can take care of everything we need to.
I remember from my time at HCEC-TV, I was on the board of directors as the student representative, and I always thought that was so important, that my job was to take all the stuff that they were doing and share that with the students in a way that they can understand and let them know what's going on and why it's important for them to know.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
So you talked about this giant cast, 48 people. What is it like trying to strike the balance of not only getting everybody on stage during the production, but also just finding things that suit them, that show their best attributes?
Well, there's a lot to that, but we want to make sure that every student has an opportunity to, to shine, like you said, to shine their best. And so when we go through the audition process, of course, we're picking out the lead parts, but we're also picking out small groups and things like that. Like I have some smaller singing groups, and she has some smaller dancers that are doing specific things. And so we just make sure that everyone is going to shine in whatever their way is. So sometimes that doesn't become apparent until we start working, especially if it's someone we don't know that well. And we go, oh, she's got really good facial expressions. Well, we're going to put her up front because we know that she's going to be seen, and, she's going to portray that to the audience.
So how many shows do you do a year?
1. Youth theater just does 1 per year because we only do it in the summer. The kids have so many opportunities through their own schools or through their dance schools that they just don't have time to commit to the amount of time that we need them. This is pretty much a 2-month commitment. We start at the end of May and then go all the way through July, and they have to be with us. We're here from 4 to 7, Monday through Friday, and they pretty much have to be with us the whole time. We don't give them a whole lot of time off. But yeah, it's a huge commitment, and so summer is about the only time that they can do that. And that we can do that.
So talk about you talked about how big of a commitment it is. It's almost like a job in a way. Now, what goes into, they're here at the PAC, they're here performing and practicing. What all goes into what they do while they're here?
We split up into, well, at the beginning it's different, obviously. We're at the point now to where we're putting everything together. So before now, we would separate the kids and we would learn the music and we would learn the dance. And then the director goes through the blocking with them, which is, how they are on stage, where they are and how they're moving for the scenes in between the songs. And so when we put all of that together, especially the singing and the dancing, I was explaining to them the other day, because they were like, man, when we put this all together, I can't do it. But the reason is because when you learn singing, it stores itself one place in your brain. And you learn dancing, and it stores itself a different place in your brain, even though it's the same song. And so when you first get on stage, it's kind of like learning to walk when you're a baby. You have to make connections in your brain to those two things. And so, we're still working through all of that. But a lot of moving parts. That picture you see online where it shows the iceberg and you see a little bit at the top and the big, huge iceberg underneath. Yes. That's what it's like. We're all that stuff underneath the water is what people don't see. It's a lot of moving parts to get it all together.
Would I be correct in assuming that by the time they get into youth theater that they have experience acting in other roles?
Not all of them.
No.
Mm-mm. Some of them do at their schools or
Yeah.
at local dance studios or other theater companies in the area. But a lot of kids, this is their first real experience because it's 6th grade and up, and so most of the theater programs in this area are for high school, at the schools. So yeah, I mean, this was a great learning experience for me as a kid, and got me involved in it. So for a lot of kids, it is their first experience.
And we have a lot of homeschool kids,
Mhm.
a lot of homeschool kids, because this is a great place to meet, and the social part of it, they enjoy a lot.
I know people that I have met that have gone through youth theater or Lego dance theater or any of these other programs. They have such glowing memories of what they've done. And I know that you all work hard to make sure that they're not only learn and they get the educational benefit from that, but they have these experiences that they can go on and enjoy for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely, yeah. Getting up in front of people, exactly. So many things that are good. And let me put in a little bit here. We take them other places, just not here. We're going to go over to Stephen Foster, and we're going to be a pre-show for one of the days on July the 20th. We're going to go and do some of our show there, so they get to perform on that great stage there at Stephen Foster. We also do a preliminary for the state fair, and if they win here, then they get to go on and perform at the state fair. So other things for them to get to do, some neat opportunities.
Absolutely, being able to perform at the state fair, that just blows my mind. Especially me from being a small town that didn't even have a theater program, but being a kid and being able to do that.
Yeah. And you put it on a resume.
Yeah.
It looks great on a resume. Yeah.
Welcome back to this special edition of Issues and Insights. I'm Jarrett Cox, and we have 2 students here that are part of the Oklahoma performance here at the Hardin County Performing Arts Center. Thank you for being here.
Oh, it's so great. Thanks for having us.
So if you don't mind, just go down the line. Can you introduce yourself and tell me how you got involved in youth theater?
Of course, my name is Anna Vaughan. I've been going to youth theater production since I was really little. I've been here since I've been going with my family. I've had a few people in my family that have been involved in youth theater, and I'm also really involved in the theater at my school, and we have a lot of members of our theater at North Hardin that also are part of youth theater, and they've been trying to get me to do youth theater for a really long time, and I was a little skeptical at first because I didn't know if I would have time with all my conflicts, but I ended up giving it a shot, and I haven't regretted it. It's been so much fun.
My name's Brody. Last year was my first production with youth theater, actually. My mom saw a post about it on Facebook, and she thought, hey, that'd be something that Brody would be into. And I was like, sure, I'll do it. I'm really glad I did it because it was so much fun, and I'm really glad to be doing it again this year.
Can you talk a little bit about the camaraderie you have with the crew?
So a lot of the crew, we have a lot of members of North Hardin here this year in the main cast and all over the place. And lots of family. It's like a family because everyone is trying to help each other out. They want everyone to be the best they can be. So you'll see people on the side of the stage trying to encourage each other, just watching each other. And that's what you love to see in a theater community, is just people encouraging each other. And when a cast list is released, you always hear people just telling each other good job, and no hard feelings whatsoever based on the cast or whatever. And I just think it's like a family and very encouraging of one another.
Yeah, going off of what Anna said about the cast list, the funny thing is the way that I found out about my role wasn't from me seeing the cast list. It was about another member of the cast texting me. I was so excited. Everyone in the cast is so supportive of everyone. And yeah, like Anna said, it's a big family, especially the guys. We do a lot of stuff together. It's really cool to be a part of theater.
So what is your role in the Oklahoma production?
So my role is Aunt Eller. She is like the wise old woman that just basically is like the mother figure in this town of Oklahoma that they live in. She's always giving people a hard time and trying to keep everything in order. And she basically just gives wise words throughout the play, and she's just a really funny comedic character that she gets a lot of different lines that it'll make you chuckle, or there's some lines that are really heartfelt and you'll really feel something whenever she says those lines. And I just really like this role because it's not like a role I've ever played before.
My character is Ali Hakim. He's like a peddler man. He's like one of those scam artists who will try to sell you like snake oil, telling you it'll cure cancer. He's pretty funny. He's the kind of guy who does not want to like settle down or anything. He has a lot of hilarious scenes. It's really fun to play him too.
You'll see these students and more at this Oklahoma production here at the Hardin County Performing Arts Center. Make sure to get your tickets today at thepac.net. So I've seen the signs all over town. Oklahoma, it's the hot ticket this summer.
It is. Let's hope so.
Yes. Give me one more time when it is, where it is.
All right. Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center, July 14, 15, 16, and then the next weekend, 21, 22, 23, thepac.net to get your tickets.
You heard that, thepac.net. Get your tickets for Oklahoma. It's the one show from Youth Theater this year, so you want to make sure that you're there here at the PAC. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for Bart, the director of the PAC, for letting us film here. For HCEC-TV, I'm Jarrett Cox, and I'll catch you down the road.